Friends, for the last lecture we discussed about definitions of language, and now we may begin with the characteristics of language. While discussing about definitions, we come across so many common words, and those common words are nothing but the characteristics of language. And here we have the characteristics of language. The very first one is arbitrariness, and the word arbitrariness means the things, the objects which are arbitrary. Arbitrary is adjective and arbitrariness is noun. So the language which is not common, not logically developed, we have different names for different objects at different stages. So here language is called arbitrary, and we have the things related to is that language is not inherited. There is no logical relation or similarity between any given features of language and its meaning. So when we consider any kind of object, we have different things. That is, the diagram shows that one word in another language, then the same word in another language, next language going to differ, even it's with meaning also. And here we have one example. For example, four-legged animal called dog in English. So we can say dog in English, and kutta in Hindi, kukur in Sanskrit, nai in Kannada, and hund in German, and kutra in Marathi. So friends, the animal is the same, but we have different names in different languages where there is no logical connection or logical sequence for us. So there is no one-to-one relationship between the form, that is word, and its meaning. So we have the simple equation that same object and we have different languages. So in different languages we have different names, and in animal communication there is a limited type of exchange. For example, wiggly dance of bees always is the source of nectar or honey. Now we may consider another example here of arbitrariness, that is four-legged pet or say domestic animal called cat in English. That is one thing we have to consider here. And billi in Hindi, bidal in Sanskrit, bekku in Kannada, biladi in Gujarat, punai in Tamil, pilli in Telugu, lakubi in Assamese, gata and gato in Italian, chate and chat in French, kaje in German, neko in Japanese, and manzar in Marathi. Even here, when we see gata and gato, that is a male and female. Similarly, chate and chat in French. So even in Marathi we have manzar, that is the common one, but we have the special typical word for male, that is boka. So here we have there is no relationship between the object, and even you people can develop your own example. For example, if I say water in English, you have to say pani in Hindi as well as Marathi. So you have to develop your own example of arbitrariness, and then there are chances of getting good marks. So this is the example I developed myself, and here at first I considered Indian languages, and then I went to the other languages like Italian and German. So this is the first characteristic, that is arbitrariness of language. Now we turn to another characteristic, that is duality. Duality, the word itself indicates dual. Dual means two. two things together, and here we have to consider that language functions at two levels. Whatever the levels are there, we have to consider the language functions at two levels, means language has dual system of what? Sound and meaning. You know very well, if I make a sound, you understand the meaning. Tick tock, if I say the sound is like this, tick tock, and you very well understand what does it mean. Or say, if I say ding dong, that is the bell sound, and you understand the meaning. So dual functions we have to consider here, and for that purpose there should be systematic composition or arrangement of linguistic units that correlates word and meaning. It means whatever we people have decided, if I say ONE, one means one, whatever the figure we know very well, and if you say no, I am going to call it two, it is your own responsibility. Whatever the things we have decided, that is systematic composition. Systematic composition includes subject, verb and object. There should be the sequence like this. Then and then only you will be able to understand the language and its meaning. So here you have to consider dual functions, means word and its meaning. Then we have to consider there are some symbols, that is symbolic pattern, and its symbols are arranged in a particular way. You know very well, in spoken English or the script consists of 44 sounds. Sounds are symbols, p, b, t, d, k, g. These are the symbols, and with the help of those symbols we are able to form a word and it has some kind of meaning. So symbolic level we have to consider. And here there is one example. For example, utterance. Any kind of pronunciation, that means arrangement of speech sounds. Suppose I say C-A-T, it has meaning cat, four-legged animal. If I say A-T-C, A-T-C, it has no meaning at all. On the other hand, if I say A, C and T, it means it has meaning act. So in what way you are going to arrange the words, arrangement of sounds is very important, and then there comes arrangement of words also. So at first you have to think about arrangement of sounds, 44 sounds. Then you have to think about arrangement of words, that is you have to say dual function of language, and every word should be arranged systematically, where we have small arrangement of speech sounds. So the beginning, everywhere you have to consider two levels. At first you have to think about speech sound and then its arrangement. Then totally we have language functions at three levels. The first one is phonological level, that is whatever I am going to repeat so many times, that is speech sounds. Then syntactic, that is morphology or morphological system. We have to consider in what way the words are to be formed. If we have the word happy, then unhappy, then unhappily, that is morphology, and you know very well the morphological processes. And the third level where we consider the language functions, that is semantic, and it means meaning, where we understand what actually the person says. So at least we have, or we should know two levels. Though the language functions at three levels, we should be able to understand the language as a tool of communication, and so the characteristic or the function of language is called duality. Now we turn to the next characteristic, that is productivity. And dear friends, the root word is to produce, means you are able to produce something whatever is with you, and other way it is also called creativity, means you are able to create something different, something new. Actually whether it is new or not we don't know, but if I say I went school, nothing is new, but I am going to say it is new for me. So you are able to create your own words, own phrases or own sentences, and here there is no limitation at all, and so it is called language is highly productive or creative. Even you know very well, when the child learns at the beginning to say something, mother happily announces her enjoyment. So from the birth, right from the birth, though it is not inherited, we try to learn, and while learning we are going to produce different kind of sentences. Even in the examination, you people have different kinds of sentences where grammar is not a correct one. So the characteristic is that language is highly productive and or say creative. And here we have to say there are various ways of combining the units of language. Means we are able to combine maybe sometimes object-object, maybe subject-object for what is going to happen in Marathi also. So we are able to produce different kinds of sentences or expressions, and a few basic principles of construction. We have a large number of constructions. Means the person who knows very well basic sentence pattern, SPOCA, is able to produce a large number of sentences. That is productivity of language. You are able to produce different kind of sentences. And what about the length of the sentence? No limit to the length of any sentence. Means you have sentence of one line, maybe 2 or 3 lines, maybe 1 page, or maybe 2-3 pages. So there is no such kind of length of any sentence. You are able to say sentence as per your attitude or as per your necessity. Then you have to understand the message that you have never heard before. Why? Because you people have the habit, or you know very well the basic things: subject, predicator, then object, or maybe adverbial, like this. So you are able to understand the messages you can't heard before. And here there is one example. Child acquires the system of his mother. What mother or the surrounding people are going to say something that is easily acquired. So produce any number of novel sentences, that is different sentences. And what is going to happen in animal communication? There is very little creativity. Means in animal communication they have no such kind of scope. For example, a parrot only imitates what we say. That is the difference we have to see here. And hence human language, or the language of humans spoken, is called open-ended. And as we have the different ways of those things, here I am going to give you one example you haven't heard anywhere. And what is it? मराठीत 14 आणि इंग्रजीत 12. असं काय बरं? असं काय बरं is the typical new expression for you people in your mother tongue. But we understand, and the next sentence created by the writer is, का पुण्यात मराठी 14ला इंग्रजीत 12 म्हणतात is once again a typical arbitrariness. म्हणतात is the standard Marathi, but म्हणतात the writer has written like this. And he or she also continued, म्हणत बी असतील आपल्याला काय ढेकळं कळतंय. So such kind of new expressions we can understand very easily because we acquired mother tongue from our situation. So such kind of creativity anyone can create. And here the writer has one photograph of bus, and he wants to explain what way people are going to make mistakes. So you people are able to create many more expressions with the help of what basic things are with you. So this is the third characteristic of language, that is productivity. Okay.